Skeleton Crew, Episode 7, we're gonna be in so much trouble. We kick things off on At Attin in the middle of the night, deep in the forest where the parents are trying to send out their little transmitter device through the barrier. And I'll be honest here, I've kind of forgotten about the parents and their plan at this point, mainly because they've had just so little screen time. On top of that, their plan itself isn't exactly foolproof either, as it requires the kids to be near At Attin in the first place to even pick up the transmission. And even then, the plan would still fail, and I'll explain why later. But to be fair, the parents don't really have many options left either. And with At Attin being basically a dystopian Big Brother world controlled by AI, where the droids seem to control everything, parents get found out and are stunned one by one in the middle of the night. Still, they manage to launch their transmitter out into the barrier. Meanwhile, the pirates arrive at Attin following Jod's coordinates. But Brutus and his crew aren't fully convinced yet by Jod's promises of an infinite treasure world, especially when they do see the maelstrom surrounding the planet. This is also the first time where we do get a good look at the planet's barrier from space. And yeah, I could see exactly why the pirates are skeptical and why this place has been untouched for centuries. In fact, when one of the pirates does try to fly through the barrier, they're almost instantly killed in the process. And this makes Brutus fed up with Jod's lies, deciding to just toss him out of the airlock once and for all. But right before this does happen though, the Onyx Cinder then exits hyperspace and heads right towards the barrier, catching the pirates' attention in the process. Brutus then has the pirates haul the ship into their frigate's hangar using a tractor beam. Once aboard the hangar, Captain Brutus alerts the skeleton crew to surrender. But rather than that happening, they instead grab him with the ship's cargo claw. Then an automated voice comes on, demanding that the pirates release the Onyx Cinder in exchange for Brutus's release. And knowing exactly who the ship belongs to, Jod then takes the opportunity to seize control of it, without first executing Brutus in cold blood and letting the pirates know that there's nothing to fear, as it's just a bunch of scared kids hiding on the ship. And before we go any further, I gotta say, I'm still not sure how I feel about Brutus being taken out so quickly and easily like this, as I honestly expected more from him, considering he's one of the most interesting characters to be featured on this series, at least visually of course. I mean, sure, I always figured Jod would kill him eventually, but I didn't expect it to happen so soon. Now back in control of his former crew, Jod emerges wearing his Captain Silvo helmet from episode 1, and honestly, I'm curious why he even needs to wear it. Like, it's maybe for the intimidation factor, or maybe he just likes to feel powerful when, in reality, he's a total coward. But hey, it's a cool looking helmet, so I'll give him that. With the kids now captured and Jod being aboard the Onyx Cinder, it's also at this point that the pirates pick up the parents' transmission. And the message itself is personal, with each parent addressing their child, but most importantly, we do learn that the parents and all of the adults on At Attin do know about the planet's secrets, as apparently every kid eventually learns about it after graduation, and the parents also reveal that the kids need to find a Republic emissary if they want to get home, as only one of those would know how to get past the barrier and locate At Attin. And that right here is the second problem with the plan that I mentioned before. as the parents are obviously referring to an emissary from the Old Republic, which no longer exists, and I highly doubt anyone from the New Republic would be able to help the kids out. So really, the parents' plan was futile from the beginning, and if anything, only ends up helping Jod. Regardless, after hearing their parents' message, the kids then gain the confidence to try and decide to take back the Onyx Cinder. And normally they'd fail, but luckily for them, they have SM-33, who ends up turning on Jod and showing us that even a pirate droid can have some moral values. And honestly, 33 has never liked Jod before and still probably thinks he's a jerk. And really, who can blame him? Now, even though Jod is knocked out by 33 and has his precious helmet ruined, he still realizes that the Onyx Cinder is the only way to get through the barrier. So he manages to stow away on the ship just before it speeds off the pirate frigate and heads toward the barrier. And this is when we do learn that the Onyx Cinder is actually, it turns out, an At Attin ship that Tech Renaud stole to fly through the barrier whenever he wanted. And yeah, while it's cool and all, it also makes me wonder, how exactly did Renaud even cross the barrier in the first place to, steal the ship? Questions. Though I did like the reveal that the barrier is actually a massive gas giant surrounding At Attin. I wasn't expecting that, so it was a nice but little unexpected twist. On the way back home, all the kids are excited, but Wim, who's feeling a bit disappointed that their adventure is now almost over. And I mean, yeah, who also hasn't felt that way once too? As it's like when you're flying home back from an amazing trip, and as you look out the window and see your home city, part of you is happy to be back, but another part is just not ready to go back to the same old routine. And yeah, that's Wim right here in a nutshell, and most of us can understand where he's coming from. However, for better or worse, his adventure isn't exactly over yet, as Jod then makes his presence known on the ship. This time even using his stolen lightsaber to decapitate SM-33 and take control of the ship, thus making the kids his prisoners. And at this point, I couldn't help but feel like Disney really missed a chance to air this episode around Christmas, as Jod has his very own little airing of grievances moment with the kids, listing all of the things he's got a problem with them.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're gonna hear about it.
Oh yeah, a Festivus reference in Star Wars. Who would have thought? Now, due to the barrier blocking his communication with his pirate crew, Jod realizes that he needs to pose as a Republic emissary until his reinforcements arrive. So this is why he decides to spare the kids, for now at least, because bringing 4 dead kids to At Attin would be a terrible look for a Republic emissary. That and well, this is a kid's show after all too, so yeah. But having said that, he still threatens to kill the kids' parents if they don't keep quiet, as he's now seen their faces through the transmission. Not long after, the Onyx Cinder finally descends upon At Attin, and it's during this that we hear the supervisor's voice for the first time, announcing to the citizens that a Republic emissary is arriving, and as such, all non-essential work is suspended until offloading is complete. Not quite sure why that's the case, as what does the people on the planet working have to do with the droids themselves offloading the credits onto the ship or whatever, but I'm sure we're gonna find out. And here's also where it gets interesting too, as the supervisor's voice sounds like something you'd expect from, I don't know, a Disney cartoon. But based on the way he speaks, the cadence of it and all, I'm wondering now if the voice is maybe pre-recorded, and if the supervisor is actually a droid or AI. I mean, this would explain why no one has ever seen him in person, so yeah. Also, while the arrival of a Republic emissary is an event that everyone on At Attin is aware of, they learn and hear about it, it's also probably the first time in their lifetimes that they're actually witnessing it happen before their eyes. And that could also explain why the vaults themselves are overflowing with credits, making this an event truly unique for everyone involved, the characters and us the viewers. Now, once the Onyx Cinder does land, Jod is taken straight down underground to one of At Attin's vaults. And it's here where he's practically giddy as he lays eyes on all of the credits, not just a few, but all of the credits. Basically having his very own personal Scrooge McDuck moment. And as far as he's concerned, he's made it. He's the richest man in the whole galaxy. He's achieved eternal wealth. And now all that's left is he needs to get these credits off-world. With the parents hearing that their kids have arrived safely, rush down underground as well to the vault to reunite with them. And well, it's not all of the parents since Neil's dad is strangely absent once again. There's gotta be something they're planning with Neil's dad, as it's very weird why he's been the only parent absent this entire time. But yeah, their reunion is cut short as Jod comes out of the vault igniting his lightsaber just as the screen cuts to black. And of course, we're left to assume that Jod will kill the parents like he threatened to do. But honestly, that'd be pretty dark for a kids show. And plus, Jod only said he'd do that if the kids didn't squeal and kept quiet. If anything, I'm betting he'll likely just introduce himself as a Jedi Republic emissary. And well, since the Jedi are highly revered on At Attin, the parents will probably thank him and stand in awe of him, maybe even wanting to give him a reward or something, who knows. Overall, this was a pretty solid episode. I'm still not crazy about how quickly Brutus was taken out, which to me feels like a missed opportunity, but with everything else being pretty well done, I did like the episode. I'm also liking this darker side of Jod, who's shaping up to be what looks to be the main villain of the show too. It's a nice twist, and we got some solid world building here as well, which is always a welcomed addition. And after feeling so underwhelmed after last week's episode, this one feels like we're really getting back on track. And that was my take on this episode of The Skeleton Crew. Let me know what you all thought about the episode in the comments down below, and if you haven't done already, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.